What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the channel. Out here in the middle of Pennsylvania. First time here. I'm going to talk about today while I'm riding why I bought a Husky 501. Just working my way to the spot. I do have permission to ride here. I'm not going to say where it is, but the guy was very respectful. He just said don't tear it up on the main road. Said people come back from New York and everywhere else on their side-by-sides, just tear up everything. No trail etiquette. Keep it on the trail. So yeah, talking about why I bought my Husky 501. Just to give you a background, I came from a motocross background. Started off when I was 13 on a little XR80. Started getting into it. Was on 85s and stuff. 250Fs, KTM 450. A little bit of everything. Hopefully this is a trail. I just turned 30. Ooh. So decided I wanted to branch out instead of just the normal track thing all the time. Wanted to have options. Just be able to ride my bike in more spots than a track where you got to pay 25 bucks to practice all the time. Not that that's a big deal, that's a cheap aspect of riding, but these Huskies are street legal. And for areas where they're having a harder and harder time finding places to ride, where you used to be able to maybe jump on the tracks and go and connect it all, or areas where you used to be able just to ride on the road and nobody said anything, now it's a different story. So these bikes, any dual sport bike that's street legal, is just, oh, that looks steep, is just incredible because you can, I already got my foot wet, because you can start off on the road, you can get on a trail, and get back on the road, and you can connect trails. And you might hear that from someone else, connecting trails, but makes a huge difference. And you can just start out from your house if you want. If you got trails close by, you don't have to truck your stuff anywhere, worry about your vehicle. It's just sweet. I'm going high on this one. Another thing about it too, people say, I used to at least, oh, enduro bike, you got an enduro bike. Like, those are dumb. You can't do nothing with those. You can't jump things with an enduro bike, with a dual sport bike. Nice little creek. Well, that might have been the enduro bike of 10 years ago, or dual sport of 10 years ago, but not the dual sport of today. The dual sport of today, evidently that means don't ride on it. Just so you know, I am on private property with permission. But the dual sport of today is not what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The dual sport today, especially this one I'm on, this Husky, it's a motocross bike with turn signals. They are choked down big time from the factory. Do I want to do it? Yeah. Yeah, the suspension's soft. Yeah, they don't have quite as much power as a motocross bike. Yeah, they are built to last longer, which I consider that a bonus. But it's all things you can undo and fix. You can fix any power issues you think you might have. You can fix the soft suspension. Not even fix, just upgrade. Tell you a little bit about my Husky. See that deer? Another one over there too. I got a 2019 FE501. I got a few mods done to it. The one thing I did do, and not at first either, but did it later on. Holy shit! Should have went around. One of the first things I did after riding it on a motocross track was I did snag a pair of forks off a KTM, okay, 450 SXF. They are a 4CS, so I'm running like a 4CS fork on here, and they're not a good fork. Let's just make that clear right now. But they're better than the stock when it comes to bottoming. But even the 4CS does not hold up like you think it would. It's harsh sometimes down low in the low speed, and then in the high speed when you got a big bottom coming, the thing just blows right through the stroke. The Explorer, oh look at that. The Explorer fork was even softer than that. I'm talking real soft. Might revisit that. I mean, it was alright if you landed the jump perfect. But if you had any kind of bottoming, you bottom out, it's done. And it hurts. So one of the first things I did, and kind of why I bought the bike, is I had some extra parts off of a 450 KTM. One of them being the forks. I'm up at the dealership buying a helmet, and I'm telling the dude I want to go out in Colorado, do some trips out there. And if anybody's ever ridden in California, they know all about the red sticker, which I've ridden out there before. I used to live out there, and back to where I started. And now I'm out here in Pennsylvania. But the principle's the same when it comes to the street legal aspect of it. It's just way better. It comes stock with a spark arrestor, which in California they go by the VIN number. So if anybody isn't familiar, you get two stickers out there. One that lets you ride all year round with a certain bike, and then another one that, at least for me when I had my KTM, they say no, you can't ride it in the summertime, wildfire risk, even if you have a spark arrestor on the bike. Can't ride it in the summertime due to the fact that the VIN number shows it as a racing bike that does not come from the factory with a spark arrestor. So I was bound by half a year out there of being able to go ride on some of that stuff. So this time around, I'm out there getting a helmet, telling the guy what I want to do in the future, and he's like, well, let me just show you this bike. I got it in the back. Never heard of him, never looked at him before. And he shows me this bike, and I'm just like, wow. I'm looking at the frame, looking at the engine. A lot of the stuff is almost identical to my KTM, like the frame, just the build characteristics, the triple clamps, almost everything's pretty much the same. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. Well, I got a fork off a KTM 450 fork set. I have a shock off a KTM. So if I want to ride motocross, or if I'm riding motocross for a while, I can throw that set on. And then when I'm done, or when I want to do something else, I can put the stalkers back on. Or if I want to ever sell the bike, which I love this bike so much, I don't think I'm ever going to sell this bike. So yeah, the VIN number is a big thing. Talk about a couple of the mods I did, and we'll start with the exhaust since we're on the spark arrestor kick. The spark arrestor is built into the muffler, so the muffler comes right off. It takes like 2 minutes. I got a stock slip-on from a KTM 450. Just a stock one. And yeah, it's way louder. This thing is so quiet stock, it's 80 decibels. It's quieter than a lawnmower, which I love that. But if I'm at the track or if I'm doing a ton of track riding, I'll throw the slip-on on, and that is just makes it a whole different bike. It makes it a 450 motocross bike. But you can't just throw that on. You got to get a tuner to tune that thing. If not, it's going to be running so rich, you're going to be popping the whole time. It's going to run worse with less power than the stock bike did. You got a jet for everything. Jet. You got to adjust your fuel for everything now. What do you think? Maybe I'll check that out in a bit. So you got to adjust for everything. I'm running a tuner from Best Dual Sports, and that area there looks like someone else's. But this tuner from Best Dual Sports, I think it's called a Doback, and they're made from a few different brands. I got it from Best Dual Sports just because they are the only ones that had it in stock. This is the era of the coronavirus, so you can't really get to pick and choose right now what parts are in stock and what parts you want to buy. But it works great. That dude gets a little bit of flack online. I've seen the comments and I've seen some of the claims too. But in terms of this thing doing what it was said to do, it definitely does. And what's really awesome about that for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people too, when they're looking at a bike like this, if I want to race motocross, I can throw the pipe on, change the tuning settings in 30 seconds, and go rip. And then when I'm done riding motocross, I want to come out to the woods, be respectful to other people being out here, like hunters and just neighbors in general. When I'm riding at my house, I got one on too, the stalker. It's just because it's so quiet, it's fantastic. We're going this way. Hoping I don't get a flat today. Got a flat last weekend. I was riding the track before that. I had the PSI down a little too much on my tires. We're going up. Pinch flat. I don't have a fancy tubeless setup yet or anything like that. I've just been riding this thing. Taking it easy today. I have not been in this area before. So yeah, you can throw that stuff right back on if you want. It takes 10 minutes and then you're back to stock. You want to go ride the track? You don't even need it for the track, all right? But if you want it to feel like a, holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. Might be making a UE on this one, just because I don't know if it keeps being muddy or gets back to normal or what, but I'll find something else. Anyways, you don't even need it. Oh yeah. Nice 20 PSI tire. You don't even need the extra power. Most people, unless you're an A rider, you really don't need it. But if you want it, you got the option. Now this bike is a little louder than the stocker right now. I did one mod that's kind of permanent, and it's not even permanent if you don't want it to be. But I got the reeds pulled out. You might hear of other people talking about that, pulling the reeds out of this bike. This bike comes stock with reeds, and it's there to make the bike quiet, make the airbox quiet. When I hit the gas here, you can kind of hear some throatiness. It's to get rid of that. But I took them out. And if you are going to take them out, you do need a tuner, at least for this bike, because it will run rich or lean. Ooh. So that's all I got done to mine. Exhaust, air, or the reeds out, and then a tuner. So when I was in my motocross prime 10 years ago now, holy shit, I was a decent, I don't know what you call decent even, but I was a B rider. I never raced A class or anything, but I was competitive in B, and it was good. But now I'm like wanting to do other things in life. See other places and just do it all. Still go chase people around on the track. There's the other side of that. But also still be able to ride on the road if I have to. Not that I want to, but you almost have to nowadays. So being able to do, being able to do that, it's just a game changer. Yeah. Slimy today. It just poured last night. It's October 6th or 5th. It's almost winter time. Trying to get some more rides in before the cold weather gear comes out. The other thing I want to bring up is, you hope it never happens, but theft. For the guys that did race motocross, or have a motocross bike, or a four-wheeler, or anything, you know how much people love to take those things. That was a bad line pick. This thing being street legal, it's got full coverage on it. So I even got like accident insurance on it. That wasn't my biggest thing, but the theft insurance was. If someone takes the thing, I want to be able to get it back, or at least get my money back. Maybe we'll do a hill climb real quick. So this full coverage is just a game changer. We'll go ride all day, go eat at a restaurant. And on these Huskies, KTM, my buddy's got an L Honda 450. They all have, that's neat, a fork lock, which will lock the forks turned in one direction. So even if they try to wheel it out of there, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I'll do that one more time. So you can lock the handlebars turned in the one direction, which means they can't just wheel it away easily. They're going to have to do some work for it. Oh boy. I'm thinking left. So I am still racing, just got back into it. I took 7 years off. I haven't been on a bike in a couple years. So I got this about 6 months ago. Never looked back. As soon as I got this, and rode it, I immediately felt like I justified my purchase and what I'm doing with it. So I'm racing again, racing plus 30 class. Only did 2 this year so far, but that's 4 motos, and out of 4 motos I've pulled and won every hole shot, so can't complain about that. And I'm running on that one. I'm running the aftermarket exhaust and the tuner on it. Not aftermarket, the stock KTM exhaust on it and a tuner. Pulled every hole shot so far. My buddy, he's raced it once, open B class, never rode the class before, never rode the bike before. He goes out and pulls the hole shot, first moto, leads the first lap on a headlight bike at 450B. Some of the other guys that were racing against him, you know, they train down at Millsaps and all the other stuff. They got all the newest fancy shit. And the headlight bike's passing them. That's got to be embarrassing. But I'll tell you one thing, it makes it so much more satisfying when you are doing good on the track. Because you're like, look at this bike, it's got a headlight. It's not, I don't want to even say it's not made, because it is, but it wasn't its sole intention like these motocross bikes. This bike's designed to do a bunch of different shit. So very cool. Yes, I'm jumping all the jumps. I'd like to think I don't suck completely on the track. This other stuff here, yeah, maybe, but whatever. Nobody's the best rider when it comes to everything. So like I said, I'm out in the middle of PA. I'm getting a hotel tonight. I might just ride this right back to the hotel. Matter of fact, I'm going to ride it back. Just make sure you wipe that license plate off before you get on the road. A couple other things when it comes to the street legal. I do have the Tusk turn signals built into the handguards here. Great, Jesus, all these side-by-sides. Great feature. I did have to get the Tusk LED flasher. It does plug and play right in. There is an extra wire for one of them, but it's not needed. It still plugs in. And then I have the slim kit off of, I think it's TE250 Husqvarna slim taillight kit. Bolts right up. And then I have those low profile, real small turn signals on the back as well. which just cleans it all up. The stock one, I broke it the first day I rode the thing. The stock ones are not made to handle 4 pounds of mud on it. Not by any means. Now we'll go down and up. But yeah, if you want a bike that can do everything, this is your bike. I got this one instead of the KTM because motocross background, I'm used to a linkage, and to me a bike without a linkage just doesn't look right. So the KTMs don't have one. The KTM 500, the sister bike of this one, the Husky's got it. It's more of the motocross bike foundation. I believe these things are 245 dry, which is pretty damn light for a dual sport. It's as light as some of the 450 moto bikes out there right now in production. The electric start is amazing. Nice hill climbs. And I never want to look back. We're going down now. So yeah, just out for a ride by myself after work. Riding my Husky 501. Again, great bike. You can't go wrong with these. Ooh, I think we're going for it. I'm gonna need a running start. To do everything you want them to do, and then more. Like a lot of people before me have said, it's not the bike, it's the rider. I'm up to, let me just show you real quick, 1,473 miles. And it's been great, done nothing to it besides clean the air filter and ride the damn thing. Which is another thing. I love this bike because the serviceability on it is just insane. KTM designed this bike, or Husky, designed this bike to be able to do repairs on the track or on the trail quickly and easily and get back to riding. Brake pads takes you 4 minutes. One pin. You can do them without taking anything apart. Air filter, 2 minutes, not even. Exhaust, you can change that out. 5 minutes flat. Tuner, once you get it installed, the plug and plays. Again, I like the one that's adjustable on the fly, so that way when I'm putting the other pipe on, I can just do it quickly. I don't have a fixed ECU or anything. I have the plug and play, the one that fools your system. And that's really all you need. I do ride motocross with it, like I said. I have some GoPro videos up on the channel if you want to see them. I like to put a bunch of different content up when it comes to riding. So if you like what you see, if you like what you heard today, give this video a thumbs up and a like. Smack that bell, subscribe button if you want to see more cool stuff like this. And hopefully I get you on the channel next time.